I'm here with Stefano Puppini, who is the export director for GIV, Gruppo Italiano Vini. Stefano, you in Russia have already had experience of working for several years. What are your objectives on the Russian market?
As you said, I've been in this market for several years. Starting 6 years ago, we want to establish a presence with some of our wineries. Today we have a good presence. We have 10 wineries represented by 5 Russian importers. We believe that the Russian market is one of the most potential markets in the world. So as GAV we have a strategy to establish our presence in the mature markets, and maybe if we can grow would be nice, but we talk about a growth of 1–2% per year. Then we look at the new potential countries, and Russia, in my opinion, is the most potential, where the growth in this country is not a double digit, is 100% growth every year. So we started from scratch a few years ago, and now we achieve a good, let me say, starting point, because I don't think that we develop the market as we can, and we have a lot to do in the next few years. So the strategy and the objective is to establish a strong presence in this important market that we would like to see this market as one of the top 5 markets for GAV in the next 5 years.
The particular part about your company is that you work with several importers in Russia, which is, let's say, not very usual, because normally you have exclusive contract for the whole product group, just with one importer. How have you decided to trust your products into several importers? Why have you chosen to do that, and what results you see?
I need to clarify this point. As GIV, we work with several importers, but for each winery we have an exclusivity contract. Mm-hmm. So, for example, Lamberti, one of our main winery in Veneto, is imported by Alianta exclusively. Mm-hmm. So it's the only importer for Lamberti. Mm-hmm. For what concerns other wineries, we have other importers. So there are no conflicts between importers. Mm-hmm. The reason why we split our portfolio between different importers is that it's quite difficult. Keep in mind that the GAV sells out of Italy 80% of the total turnover. We have 15 wineries, and it's quite difficult to find in any country an importer that could be interested to represent all the 15 wineries from GAV. And as an international director of GAV, I have the mandate to represent and to bring in the key markets all the 15 wineries. I cannot just focus on a few of them. So my way to approach a new country is that I meet with several potential partners. Then I have to study their portfolio and see if there are conflicts between our portfolios, and discuss with the importers. So we decide which wineries, which brands from JV could fit in their portfolio. So I start with you as a potential partner, and let's say, okay, these 3 brands could fit in my portfolio. We start working in this way, but I need to find another importer for some of the other wineries. So it's not, this doesn't create problems. It's a matter of organizing this kind of approach in a fair way. So everybody knows how we operate. If I give one brand to one importer, I don't give the same brand to another one. Mm-hmm. So we split in this way, and it's a matter of coordination, just to have a strategic approach for the whole portfolio. of course, I have in mind a strategy for one winery that is different from the strategy from of the other winery. So it's a matter. Yes, it complicates a little bit my life, but at the end, I think that makes sense and give us the opportunity to represent all our wineries in the markets.
Well, you've already given a few through your experience. Sort of a little bit of advice perhaps to the other producers of Italian wine who perhaps are looking to enter the market, that first of all it is extremely important to study the market, to understand the importers and their portfolios, approach it in this way. What is perhaps the other aspects that you consider important when approaching the Russian market?
As you said, to study the market is the key. So you must know the market, and hopefully, if you know the consumers too, would be nice. But at the beginning, it's quite difficult. At least you should know the market structure, how it works, who are the key players in the market, and find the right partner for you. I mean, if you are a small producer and you approach a big importing company, it's difficult that they could be interested. Mm-hmm. So maybe you should start from a smaller company that is more similar to your company. So it depends on who you are. So if you are a famous brand with a lot of awards from Gambero Rosso, Spectator, and so on, this would be much easier because everybody in this industry knows you. But if you are a good quality producer but not very well known, you need to find maybe a niche importer mm-hmm. who could be interested to bring your brand in his portfolio.
Okay. Well, and how do events like Vinitaly, for example, how do you fit? How do they fit? How do they help you to bring your message or to communicate with your partners here in Russia or to present your products?
I think that events like Vinitaly, and let me say first of all that events are important, but sometimes there are too many events and there is a big fragmentation of events. Mm-hmm. And in this way it's quite difficult to give a strong message to an industry, a country like Russia, because we Italians are quite complicated in terms of denomination, quality, number of wines, and I think that for a Russian consumer or an importer, it's quite difficult to understand all these kind of differences. Mm-hmm. So I would recommend that Vinitaly, who is a strong brand representing Italian wine, should cover the all kind of events, mm-hmm. the wine events from Italy. And inside Vinitaly we should see many different kind of maybe small activities, or this year that Vinitaly lasts for 2 days, I think that has been a good idea, because to come here just for 1 day and then leave it, what can you do?
So you suggest under the umbrella of Vinitaly brand to perhaps diversify and create more specific events, like we already have in the business program, the round tables today and tomorrow, perhaps more guided tastings. I
think that this year has been a quite interesting experience. So a couple of days, round tables, some kind of events, maybe for consumers at night, mm-hmm. Tasting, in order to give more visibility mm-hmm. to Vinitaly and to the Italian wine in Moscow, because I'm wondering who knows that Vinitaly is here today. Probably yes, only the importers. I'm wondering if it could be interesting to start talking to a segment of consumers that could be interesting to learn more about Italian wines. And inside Vinitaly, I think that we have the opportunity to meet a lot of people. If you are an established company in Russia, it's a good opportunity to see in one place a lot of partners, contacts, people who may know, journalists, because a problem that there is in Moscow is the traffic. And if I spend one day in Moscow and I have to drive to different places, it's a nightmare. So if I can have a place like this hotel where I can have 10 meetings with 10 different people, that would be fantastic.
Okay. Well, I must say the event is very well established, and perhaps it's very well known not only among importers but also within the restaurateurs, sommeliers, and all, let's say, the operators as well as specialized guests. Perhaps also the idea to think about it is to organize, as Stefano suggests, some consumer events. So this would be something for future to think about. Well, thank you, Stefano. Thank you.
Thank you to you.
Yes, have 2 good days.
Thank you.